A wind vane is this amazing contraption that you install on the stern of your sailboat. This is the A bracket. It is the strongest of the 3 types of brackets that they sell. Mount this big brace onto the stern. Here's the brace that I made out of fiberglass. That goes right here. COVID sucks. Today we're going to install the Hydrovane's upper H bracket onto that massive fiberglass mount that we put on the stern. There are 2 holes in the H bracket, and I got these 2 stainless steel bolts that will hopefully be long enough to go through the bracket, through the fiberglass mount, through the hull itself, and then through an aluminum backing plate that we'll have on the inside of the hull. I also got this ridiculously long drill bit, which will hopefully be long enough to drill the hole, and this little device which acts as a guide. I send the drill bit through the hole in the guide and hold the guide up to the fiberglass mount, and it will let us drill at a perfect 90-degree angle, which is important because we need the bolt heads to be flush onto the H bracket. I also have my trusty 12-volt Bosch rechargeable drill. Hopefully that's going to be enough to drill that hole. Let's find out. There's our fiberglass mount. Here's our H bracket. It's going to go right on there, like that. And the bolts are going to go through the bracket and into this locker, which is our propane locker. I'm gonna have to take the tanks out of there so we have the room. When we send the bolts through the fiberglass mount and into the propane locker, I think they're gonna come out about here and here. Here's my fiberglass mount, and it's not quite horizontally straight. It looks like the port side is a little bit higher than the starboard side. It's important that when the Hydrovane gets mounted that it is completely straight in line with the mast and the backstay. So I'm going to drill 1 hole, and then we're going to use this PVC pipe inside the bracket to line it up, or line up the other hole, and hopefully this is going to work. I'm going to start out by making a mark for our first hole. Put it right there. So that's where the first hole will go. It's gonna go right through. Oh no. Are you kidding me? Huh. The very tip is a little too big. What the f? How can that be? That should go through there. Why doesn't it go through there? It's gonna drill a hole that's too big. 10mm for a 10mm bolt. And that's a 10mm hole, but the end of it doesn't go in there. Is that a mistake in manufacturing? Alright, I'm just going through a little learning experience here. I drilled a hole in this piece of wood with the drill bit, and the bolt fits very snugly in that hole. There's really no give there. The bolt goes through this 10mm hole in the guide, but this doesn't go through, the very tip here doesn't go through the hole in the guide. The rest of it does, but the very tip is a little too big. However, there's this space on the underside, and if I put the drill bit in like that, then I can get the clearance I need. Seems to wobble. It does fit, but then there's actually some play there. So, you know, doesn't that defeat the purpose of having a perfectly 90-degree angle hole. We're gonna use it anyway because I need to get this done and I hope it's gonna work. So I'll put the drill bit on here. I'll push that up on the mount and we will drill through it like that. Wish I had some way to clamp this, and I wish the dinghy was more stable. I will just strap myself in. Alright, wish me luck. Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna need to take the guide off now. Hey, we're about to go through. I think we're through. We just drilled the hole through the hole. Let's see if the bolt goes through. It's a pretty tight fit. Now we just need to adjust this when we drill the second hole so that we know it's centered with the mast. So I've got some awful news. The bolt is not long enough. It went through, but not enough. You can see it right there. Comes through by about an inch, but unfortunately, when I put the backing plate there, it's not going to work. I need about another inch or inch and a quarter of length on the bolt. I am sure that the local stores don't have bolts as long, and we're not going to be here long enough to order and wait for the bolt to get here, a longer bolt. So instead, I think at the chandlery here, they do have threaded bolts that don't have the heads on them. So you have to use a nut on both ends. And I read that while that's not optimal, it is acceptable. So I'm off to the chandlery. Hopefully they'll have it. There it is. I got it. Stainless steel 10mm threaded bolt with no head. So we'll just cut that off to the length we need. Check out the laundry. Using the jib sheet. Time for the PVC pipe. Tilt to starboard. Stop. Another ½ inch. Stop. Just hold it right there. A little support. We will get this thing installed. Just hope we can finish it before we have to push off for Portugal. Here you can see we've installed the H bracket onto the fiberglass mount using the stainless threaded rod cut to length, and I've got 2 lock nuts on there. I've also got polysulfide in between the H bracket and the fiberglass mount to keep it completely waterproof, so no water can get in between the H bracket and the fiberglass mount or down the holes that the bolts are going through. Next step, we're going to fit the PVC pipe to help us determine the placement of the legs that go to either side, because the actual shaft is really heavy and I don't want to start messing around with that until I know that everything is sized correctly, placed correctly. We'll set it up first with the PVC pipe. pretty much in line with the mast. Can come forward just a little bit. So this isn't working out so well because there's this plastic sleeve in here, and unless I can remove that sleeve, then I can't get this part of the A bracket to go onto the PVC pipe. I can't seem to remove the sleeve no matter how hard I push it or tap it. I'm not sure if it's glued. Since I can't make this go onto the PVC pipe, I'm going to install the actual shaft, which is much heavier, but I don't see any alternative right now. Oh, there you go. There's one more thing that further complicates this. It's critical that this go here like that and the shaft go inside it.
Shouldn't we have like netting or something here, or like a floating, like the dinghy or something? So maybe if it falls through, it'll just fall into that.
Yeah. All right, good idea. So I'm trying to fit the A bracket mount onto the shaft, and it's a little too tight for me to be able to slide it on. And I guess a feature is being able to take this nut out, which holds it together, and put it through this different hole, and then you can use it to pry open the A bracket a little bit. I guess they call it an opener. And you've just got to be really careful not to do it too much so that you crack it. Quarter turn at a time. No more. All right, that opened a bit. Now I can slide it on. So we're going to put the shaft into the H bracket, and then we're going to slide the A bracket onto the shaft from underneath, and then secure the H bracket in place. And hopefully that thing's going to be strong enough to hold everything in place. We shall see. Jesus, I could work out with this thing.
Okay, there.
Well, yeah, but then can you get the plastic thing on?
I don't know.
Just slide it on there. Get it in. Okay.
It's in.
All right, tighten up a little bit. Yep. Okay. After I get this thing in place, we're going to have to move the shaft down until the very bottom of it is 1 inch above the water. Alrighty. Are you ready?
I'm not gonna help you.
Oh, please, come on.
Promise me you'll never do that again.
I won't do it again.
Promise.
Promise.
What do you promise?
Why you gotta be that way? Can we get this done, please? I'm running out of energy.
Are you? Alright, you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Holding on to it?
I am. I'm gonna lower.
It's in the water.
All right, I gotta go up then. 1 inch above.
Probably a little more.
More. So it should go down.
Tiny bit.
The thing fell out.
It's probably a little more than an inch.
Should it go up or down?
Down. Maybe right there?
All right. All right, lock it. I can't hold this longer.
Okay.
Hurry.
I'm trying.
Okay, stop. Stop. Oh. It needs to be rotated. It's not straight. So it needs to be loosened.
A little break?
Yeah. How's the distance?
That is an inch.
That's an inch? Wonderful.
Ish.
Wow, my body is not right.
Yeah, well, you just got overcome.
My legs hurt.
Your what?
My legs hurt. Right, so it's definitely gotta. Oh, okay. So the top definitely needs to go aft a little bit. All right, just getting to this point has been a major achievement.
Should I tighten it a little more? Or?
Stand by.
You ready?
Yeah, just a quarter turn. Stop. Right there, tighten. Beautiful, thank you.
Yeah.
We are done. Thank you for your assistance. We are ready to go to the next phase. So we want this to be about here somewhere. Then I think we'll need to cut it right about there. And then we can place it somewhere in this area. So we're gonna cut it right there. Right there. It's not perfectly flat, but I think it'll work anyway. So I just marked with a piece of tape where to cut the other one so that they're both the same length. Okay. So I think that's the placement. We'll drill the holes here, and on the inside of the hull, the backing plate will be right there. We'll go inside and just confirm that that's going to be okay. Right there. I think that'll be fine. Perfect. So I think we got a lot done today. I'm pretty pleased with the progress. We installed the post inside of the H bracket and secured it. We put the A bracket onto the post, put the two connectors for the pipes that go to either side. We cut the pipe to a shorter length and figured out that it will fit perfectly right there. We still need to cut the other pipe. We need to make spacers for the attachment points to the hull because the hull's not completely flush, it's a little curved. So we're going to need to put a spacer there and I guess epoxy behind the spacer. All tomorrow. Progress, progress. We're going to use this to sail to Portugal. Here's the end of the A bracket where it's going to attach to the hull. It's critical that this attaches to something that's completely flat, and to help us achieve that, I'm going to make a little spacer out of this piece of starboard, which is completely flat. So this is what it'll attach to. All right. I just want to mark exactly on the hull where this pad's going to go, and figure out what we're doing from there. So we need this to be completely flat. And you know, it's so small, it's so minimal. I think I'm actually just going to sand the hull down a little bit, because we're going to reinforce on the other side with more fiberglass and epoxy when we put the backing plate on. So yeah, just a little bit of sanding there to get the smallest little curve out of there, I think will be acceptable. Wow, look at that. My 2 holes. We never thought we were going to come here. We were just going to stay in the anchorage for a short time out there and then continue heading south. But then Mo got COVID and I got the boat into this berth and took care of her for the next 4 or 5 days before she tested negative and felt much better. But then, just then, I got sick and I was in bed in quarantine testing positive for 10 days and feeling just completely exhausted for 6 days. I'm still kind of wondering, like, I feel tired now still. I wonder if it's like a lingering effect. After I started feeling a little bit better from COVID, but not 100%, but was still testing negative, I attacked the Hydrovane installation, and there it is. Can you believe it? It was so much easier to work on this here at the dock, which was fantastic. And that's another reason why we stayed here in the marina for as long as we did, because I really wanted to get this thing installed before we go offshore to Portugal and on to Morocco. I can't wait to give a demo of how this thing works. There's one snag though. They have two different kinds of vanes. They have this one, which is called the stubby vane, and it's not so high and it's much wider or fatter. And Hydrovane sent this one to me saying that this is the one that would clear the radar arch, and they were wrong, because I installed the whole thing, and on a broad reach point of sail, the Hydrovane actually hit all of my antennas and also my radar dome. I contacted them and I told them that I had actually figured out that if I moved the radar and the antennas forward by as much as possible, then the Hydrovane still hits the radar. But if they sent me the other vane, the one that's taller and not as wide, then that would clear it. And they said that they would be happy to send it to me. They want me to send this one back to them, so it's an exchange. They're going to ship it to the marina in Dingle on the south coast of Ireland. We're on the north coast of Ireland right now, so hopefully it'll get there before we get there. And also Aina's going to join us there on the 16th, and we're going to sail to Portugal with Aina as crew and cameraman. But back to this, I bought an aluminum plate. It actually cost 120 euros. I couldn't believe it was so expensive. And I cut it to shape and I through bolted it to the arch, and then I moved the radar and all the antennas forward, so now they will clear the regular vane once we get it. And so there's that. We're just gonna go anchor out over there tonight because we're too tired to go further, and then tomorrow we're gonna go 50 miles to a place called Porticloy, a little anchorage off the beach where we will rest until we're ready to continue on. We are on a schedule. We have got to get south as fast as we can, because Aina's going to be in Dingle on the 16th, and then we've got him for only 2 weeks, so I hope we get a weather window soon after he arrives, instead of being stuck with no window. You really need a window for this kind of voyage because it's like 600 nautical miles, so you need winds from the north. Another thing I did here in Killybegs was I bought this pipe, and there's another one exactly like it on the other side. It's galvanized steel. It's 3.5 meters long. It's a bit heavy. I drilled a hole through the end here, put a bolt and a nut on there, and then used that to attach this line. It's secured to the boat with that line there on this stanchion, and then it's tensioned a little bit onto this cleat with that line, not too much though, and the pipe can easily go through that. You may be wondering, what is the pipe for? So here's the deal. We're going to Portugal, and there have been a lot of Orca interactions with sailboats of our size recently off the coast of Spain, just north of Portugal, just north of where we wanted to make landfall, and in a body of water that we were planning to go directly through. And I'm talking like 10 physical Orca interactions with sailboats where they're biting rudders and trying to rip them off and really harassing the boats. And before, all of the Orca interactions were happening off of Gibraltar, and there were actually 5 sailboat sinkings in that area where they ripped the rudders off of the boats and the boats sank. And I always thought, well, that's not really going to be a problem for us because that's off of Gibraltar and we're not going to be sailing anywhere near there. But I checked more recently and saw that the Orcas have definitely started moving north. And as I said, there have been a whole bunch of bad interactions off the coast of Spain. And I got the pipes to quickly deploy off the stern. So here's the thinking. If we get hit by an Orca, I'm going to quickly undo that line. Takes 2 seconds, and then push this pipe aft through that bowline that's not too tight. It'll go right through that. Push it aft, put it in the water, and then secure it here. Then I'm going to take a hammer that we've got stowed in there, and I'm going to hit the pipe with the hammer as hard as possible. It makes an incredibly loud banging noise, which, because the pipe is in the water, I hope is transferred into the water. So I've heard that they don't like that kind of noise. Who knows for sure, but you know, I'll try it. Those pipes are also going to be hanging just to the right and left of our rudder. And so that's what the pipes are. I got those here in killy bags. Another reason why we stayed here in the marina this long.
Alright, so what are you doing?
You're just going to go forward, and I'm going to manage the midship spring line. And when you get to a certain point out there, I'm gonna tension it, and you keep the boat in forward the whole time. Okay. Unless you hear me say something different.
Okay.
That's it. When I tension it, it should turn the boat to port. All right, go ahead, forward, Mo. Forward. Forward. Slow it down, though. I'm tensioning it. We have a power boat coming out on the other side. He'll go first. Wow, this is amazing, huh?
This is great. Alright, you wanna let it go?
No, not until we're pointed towards a red ship in front of us.
Yeah, we're pointed.
A little more. Maybe give it a little more throttle. All right, you ready? Yeah. Letting it go. Woohoo! Yeah, not bad.
What about right here? 18.3.
All right, yep, stop the boat, stop the boat.
Ready?
Yep. Get a little bit of reverse until the boat stops.
We were so lucky that Marina was there. We got COVID, safe there. We had some really strong winds. We were safe there. You were able to work on the Hydrovane there.
We got the big pipes, which may save our lives.
Maybe. Ugh.